for managerial accounting. But first, just a few announcements. Our payment and registration deadline coincides with that of the TERP10 application. So payment and registration deadline will be the 26th of February. Next week, we will not be having a lesson, but Marathon Petroleum will be coming in to speak to us. We also are inviting several RSOs from the computer science department. We should have a full house. It should be great. Really good presentation. They sound pretty excited to come speak to the CMU students. Tomorrow is the ERP sim competition. If you are participating, remember to dress well and represent your company well. It's a great day, big day. And if you're not participating, thank you to all those who are volunteering. That's very helpful. We really appreciate it. And if you are not volunteering or participating, I highly advise you go just to see what it is, experience what the competition truly is when it's going on. I would especially encourage all of you to view the panel and listen to what they have to say. Some really interesting speakers coming this year. It should be a great day tomorrow. On Friday is a career day. So many of those who are looking for a job and internship opportunities, that's a great place to go. So dress sharp and bring your A game. I don't know what to say about that. Our spring trip is scheduled for the 31st of March and April 1st. We'll be heading down to Nashville to visit A.O. Smith and Louisiana Pacific. There's a lot more information to come. A lot of us are preoccupied with the ERP sim competition. So once that's over, we'll start developing a schedule, when we'll be leaving, when we'll be coming back, and the events that we can participate in when we're down in Nashville. Any questions about any of that before we begin? Yes?
So for tomorrow's ERP sim, if you're not playing the team, please wear the SAP students on your piece. And thank you.
If you couldn't hear, if you have your polos, you're going tomorrow, wear your SAP polos to tomorrow's event. Obviously, if you're participating, wear your company's polo. Without further ado, Sarah will be presenting on controlling today.
All right. So here's what we're going to be going over today. I'm just going over the basics of controlling, organizational structure, which, as I mentioned last week, if you're here, you need to know the organizational structure for every single module that we cover. Those should be your 3 key points. Components of the managerial accounting. We'll go into true and statistical objects, and then I made some more review questions like I did last week. So basically, for controlling, this is another module that's super integrated within everything else. So just like financial accounting was. So we only really cover a little bit of it right now, and then the rest of it you'll see in other places, especially in production. That's a big one, that's controlling. So controlling is only concerned about costs and revenues. We do not associate it with like assets or liabilities, nothing that's from the balance sheet, only costs and revenues. It's very interrelated with FI, and also is only concerned about internal users. Like, as we talked about last week, financial accounting, only external people care about that. Managerial is the internal. So for our organizational structure, as always, we always put the client at the very top. And then we have the operating concern, which is the unique one to controlling. And that is the structure of external market segments. Basically, we use the operating concern as kind of the big tippy-top view of everything, and it helps you to really look across the entire enterprise and look at the external market and see what they're doing. Then we have our controlling areas. You can have one or many assigned to the operating concern. These are your self-contained units for costs and revenues. And then once again, we have the company code, and that is the smallest unit that can support a full set of accounting books. Does anyone remember what the 2 things are that is required for a like multiple company codes to be attached to a controlling area?
Fiscal year and operating card account.
Nailed it. So there are 5 components of managerial accounting. I kind of like to look at it from the more broad focus and then narrow it down to be more specific. Each one of these areas are associated with a certain organizational structure. So we start off with profitability analysis, and this is the external profitability. This asks the question of how profitable are we actually? And this is concerned with that operating concern level that we were just talking about, that unique thing to controlling. Next, we have profit center accounting. That's going to be looking internally at your own self. You can kind of even think of it as like if the company has a bunch of little companies inside it, we're looking at what each one of these little companies are doing. This is associated with the controlling area level. Next, we have product cost controlling. So that's going to be analyzing value-added processes, and that's asking pretty much just what are the costs that we're incurring throughout our processes that we're doing. And this is also at the controlling area level. Next, we have overhead cost controlling. This is looking at the origin of our costs. Where are they incurred? And this is, once again, at the controlling area as well. And then cost element accounting is a big one because this is the bridge between financial accounting and controlling. And it's dealing with those costs and revenues. What is the identity of the cost? Which goes into the idea of primary cost and secondary cost, which the next slide will be about. And then this is also at the company code level. So this is kind of the most specific one. You can kind of think of it that way. So primary versus secondary costs. Primary costs are the transactions strictly between the FI and the CO. And they have a one-to-one relationship with the general ledger, and they will always retain the same identity. Secondary costs are the ones that are within controlling itself. So that could be from two different cost objects. Let me see, I have an example I can probably draw it out somewhere. It's actually my markers that work this time. So say this is your bank account. And we'll also have maybe inventory or inventory expense. So say your bank, say it was $100 to buy some inventory. There's your expense. The primary cost here will be, basically we have this cost object over here, and then this cost will go to this bucket basically, and it will match your expense account. So this will happen only for expenses and revenues. And then a secondary cost could be, say, you have another cost bucket and you want to move it over here. That would be a secondary cost. So then you also have true versus statistical objects. True will be the real cost, and they can act as the sending or receiving objects. And then statistical are these things that are used only for reporting. It can kind of help you look at different areas within your company to kind of determine what's their profitability like, what are they doing. There are 3 objects that can be associated with statistical, there's 3 statistical objects: the profit center, internal orders, and projects. It's important to know that the profit center is only for statistical postings. The other 2 can be used for true cost as well. So we have any questions? I think I went a little fast there.
Sir, could you explain a little bit more about the secondary cost?
Sure. So secondary costs, they're a little difficult to explain, but it could be between movement. It's just movements within different cost centers. So say maybe you incurred a cost in the IT department, or maybe you're in the HR department and you're requesting IT services. So you could charge, basically that kind of cost movement would be within a secondary cost object, because you'd be moving it from IT's little cost bucket to the HR cost bucket. Hopefully that kind of helps clear it up a little bit. It's a little bit of a tricky conversation or concept to grasp. The idea that all of managerial accounting, there's a lot of little parts of it that just are very difficult to explain and we kind of don't really understand. If there are no more questions, I'm going to go to our better view questions then. Yeah. So, which of the following are considered components of managerial accounting? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. If you weren't here last week, the way the TERP10 works, they have multiple choice questions. So sometimes you might have a question, it'll tell you, like, there are 2 answers right. I'm not being nice when I make my questions, so I'm not telling you how many are right. So that's up to you to determine, because I don't think I made my questions hard enough, so I didn't give you some challenge. right? A and D. I completely made up the other two. I don't know what those things are. They don't so that's just those 5 components that we were talking about earlier. It's pretty important to really know those 5. Yeah. Overhead cost controlling is, make sure I'm getting it right. So overhead cost controlling is asking about where were the costs incurred. If that makes any sense. It's just, it's really asking like just what are the origins of the costs that we are having in our company. Yes. Yeah, where the costs are coming from. So which area for managerial accounting allows for primary costs to be posted? Any guesses? Is D. Cost element accounting is that link between FI and CO. So without cost element accounting, we can never do a cost like how we did in this movement here. It's just not possible. That's right. So out of the following, which can be true objects in managerial accounting? Only not the profit center. That's the only one that is 100% always statistical. It can never be anything but statistical posting. Alright, question 4. Which organizational unit represents the structure of the external market segments for the enterprise? Any guesses? It's E. I heard a couple people saying D. It's very close, but I made that one up. The other thing else in there is part of the structure, just operating level. It's not a thing, but that is kind of something that you have to watch out for when taking the TERP10 because there are a lot of similar terms that you might get mixed up. And they very well might put a question on here like that where two choices are practically the same thing, but just one word's a little different and you have to know which one's actually right. Now this is my last question. In order for company codes to be assigned to the same controlling area, they must have the same. Last page, I asked it earlier today already. C and D. That's right. Alright, so that is all I have for you guys today. Do we have any questions? Yeah.
Question 3, what's a project?
The project, it's a different kind of cost bucket. It's a section that we get into a little later in the book. It's not kind of an area that I didn't
It's a
understand
cost
as
center
much.
though?
It's essentially more or less as a cost center.
It's a way for a company to like keep track of costs for over a period of time or for some very large anything. It could be
Yeah.
ranging from a large production object or something they produce to changing the company from structure-wise. It's just a way to incur a long-term cost and monitor investments that way.
Yeah.
They're not very specific. They can be a lot of different things.
Anything else? Questions about the TERP10 itself? Controlling anything? All right.
Well, let's round of applause to Sarah. We'd like to make this as great an experience as we can. So if you guys have any tips for us as far as what you would like to learn and what we can change to better improve our lessons, we'd be happy to take them. And if there are specific questions that you'd like us to answer during any of our sessions, please ask it, or if you know another time, email it, and we can address it at a later time. If we don't know the answer, which is very well possible, we'd be happy to go find it. We'd like to be a resource to all of you to help you prepare for the TERP10. So with that being said, our emails are all over Central Link and things like that, so just let us know improvements, things we can work on, or questions that you have that we can figure out for you. And if there are no more questions today, are there? About the TERP10 itself, year, future dates, anything like that? Yes?
What percentage do you need capacity?
51. So if the TERP10, you'll be given an 80-question exam on a computer. You have 3 hours, I believe, to complete it. You will need to get at least 51% to pass. And if you get 50%, you will not pass.
Yeah.
How if you fail it, do you take it another time or and also, could you post the slideshow somewhere?
Yes.
Yeah, we post that.
If you fail it, you will have an opportunity to retake it. Now, this is one thing that I'm not 100% sure of. I believe you can take it 2 more times. That's right?
I think so, that sounds right.
You get 3 hours, so in total, 3 opportunities to pass the exam before either, what you just can't do it for that.
So I think it is, until they update the testing app, basically, you can't take it.
So every few years they update the test. If you fail it 3 times, complete number 3, if you fail it 3 times, then you will need to wait until the new release comes out. With our professors and their ability to teach in our department, yeah, I don't believe that anyone in this room will have a problem with that. As long as you study hard and put the time, you'll have no problem passing.
And they recommend too, if you do have to fail it, they give you, you're able to take it pretty much like 1 week later for, I think it's $500, which is unfortunate, you have to pay that again. But it's a better idea to take it right away instead of waiting. Say like if you're taking it in May and then you don't graduate a full year, just take it the week after because the information's fresh in your mind. This stuff will leave you pretty fast, unfortunately. Yeah.
Do they give you detailed feedback about the questions you missed?
Yes, well, not detailed feedback, but instantly they will tell you kind of a breakdown of each of the sections that are on there. So it'll be like financial accounting, you got this percentage on it. And it's just instant results.
They don't show you any specific questions after you submit it. They just tell you percentages based on the sections they divided into.
I have a,
Who's going?
alright, so I have an add-on to that. If you did pass that, you get the 51%. Trust me, you don't want to, you don't care how much you get.
Yeah.
I was just curious, you said that it was mostly multiple choice, right? But
It
they
is
have,
all
like-
multiple choice.
They have like the right.
They have the freedom to put true or false questions or I think short answer if they want to, but it's going to be multiple choice and multiple choice. I can't imagine they would put anything else.
They have the right to do it, they just haven't done it. Any other questions about the exam? It seems pretty intimidating. I know I was very intimidated when I was approaching the exam. It really kind of scared me going into it, but it is not as bad as it sounds. It's a lot to do, but if you're committed to it, you put in the time, you don't really have anything to worry about as long as you yourself are committed to passing. That means the hours it takes to study after your class, the hours of prep before the class starts, and just the dedication to the exam itself, you'll have no problem at all. I promise you that. Do we have any more questions?
Just one more. How long is like the class per day?
You start at 8 a.m., you have an hour lunch into 5, so an 8-hour day with an hour lunch.
Sometimes you get out early, every now and then. The last day we did practice tests, so we did like the first half of the day, you talk about HCM, and then the second half is your practice test, and then that doesn't usually take the full, like, after lunchtime.
Yeah, so the layout, you'll Monday through Friday the first week, you come at 8 a.m., you do your lessons all day, you have an hour lunch. Sometimes there's a company that comes in and presents, and And that way, in that case, you have your lunch paid for, and you'll have a big, kind of a banquet style lunch over in Powers. The other days, you'll just have an hour to get lunch on your own, and then at 5 p.m. you're done. On the final Thursday before the exam, you'll take a practice exam that has been devised by Professor Tracy. And at that point, it gives you an idea of where you're at as far as where you stand going into the test. In my experience, from what I've heard, is pretty accurate representation of what you will get on the exam. Mine was only 2% different from what I got in the practice to what I got in the exam.
I think I was 6 or 8% difference.
It's just a good way to show what you need to study on. Every morning you come in, you'll take a quiz. That quiz is just over what you've covered up to that point. So it gives you constantly know where you're at with regards to material learning, what you need to focus on when you study, and what you have down for the most part. It's very well structured. You know what you need to study and how to study for it.
Would you say that some parts are weighted heavier than other parts on questions?
Yes. They give you a little sheet at the first day of class, and it breaks down each section. It's either going to be like, most of them are going to be like 12% of the exam. There's about 4 or 5 sections that are less than 8%, is how they word it. So it's not too bad. You do have a good understanding of which ones you really need to focus on more.
The larger percentage of the portions of the exam, like the 12% or something like that, those are numbers that I don't know what to exact. In fact, those are a lot of the ones that you cover in class. Anything else? Random questions for the TERP10? I know we haven't really covered as in depth this today previously to what the exam actually entails. All right. Well, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow at the ERP Sim competition, and we'll see you next week for Marathon Trophy.